Welcome to Alley Chats. Today I have a special guest, a friend of mine, Xane Daniel. Xane, thank you so much for being with me. Tell people about what you do. Tell them about yourself.
I write and publish my own comic book series called Righteous. It's about a greedy corporate analyst who is visited by a being of light who touches him on the forehead and changes him so that he can't be greedy anymore and he has to help other people. And the other twist of the story is, as he's trying to figure out what's going on with his life, as he's seeing his life fall apart because he can't really make money for himself anymore, and he's going to lose his house and he's going to lose his wife and his job, he realizes that every time he helps someone, they get it too. And so this is kind of my way of spreading enlightenment to the masses. So each person who gets the disease then passes it on to the next one and to the next one. And that's what's great. It's a disease, right? It's a disease that is a positive disease. And so you end up with the opportunity to have man versus nature, man versus society, which is the first half of the story. And then the second half, it's other people kind of realizing what's happening, CEOs, let's say, and they don't want this to happen. They don't want their lives to change. And so they're doing everything that they can do to try to stop it. So it becomes man versus man. So it's a really great opportunity to kind of comment on society. And I've had people say that this is a positive counterculture message. So it kind of talks about, is capitalism really the right system? Is the way that we're doing things really right? And it's kind of cool because, and now in the situation that we're in, I'm noticing that capitalism is kind of failing us in this disaster, this world disaster. So I think it's pretty right with the times.
Yeah, you're pretty timely with this, which is funny because I've known you for a while. This was started way before the pandemic, way before our current political climate even. And you really kind of hit it right on. And it is a great message. It's a great book. I really enjoy it. So I really do encourage people to check it out. Xane, what is your background? What brought you to this point?
So I was a producer in the video game industry for 22 years. And I worked on titles like Hunter the Reckoning, the Saints Row series, Mortal Kombat, Leisure Suit Larry, lots of popular games. And so I really had a great opportunity to work with amazing designers and writers. And I really understood kind of how to tell stories in video games. And so it was somewhat easy to transition over to comic books. But I have to say at the same time, there was the language of comics, some of it that I didn't totally understand. And so in the process, I actually hired an editor from the comic book industry that got me kick-started. So my first chapter or two was edited by her, and she saw all my mistakes, all the common newbie mistakes, and fixed them right away so that I didn't end up making big mistakes that I had to, scrap or learn on the fly and have a beginning that wasn't as good. So I'm really, really thankful that I had her help on that.
So Xane, you're a writer. You're not doing artwork, so there's no way you do like commissions for this, correct?
Oh, no. No, I hire artists from around the world, actually. My main illustrator is Joseba Morales, and he is in Spain. And my colorist is in Peru. My letterer is in the U.S. I've got a flattist in the Philippines, and I have cover artists all over. I do guest color artists. So if there are other people who would like to get commissions from me, then I would be happy to hire them potentially. So that's a possibility. But all these people that work on the book have more than 10 years of comic book experience. So
having read your book, to me, it screams that it could be made into a different type of property as well as a comic book. Are you exploring any of those avenues?
Yeah, absolutely. It does scream that. And what's interesting about it is that it is not like a bunch of superheroes and special effects and that sort of thing. It's pretty like normal everyday life with this element of the supernatural in it, kind of like the movie Liar Liar or Groundhog Day. So, yes, I am working with a Hollywood writer who has just sent me the pilot script, and I'm working with 2 Hollywood producers, though that's a little bit on hold thanks to all this that's going on, about turning it into a TV show or a movie. So I'm pretty excited about that, and it's been the long-term goal all along. And I know that it would work extremely well for this. And I want to get it out to the masses as much as possible, especially since the topic is, like you said, so timely.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've wandered Artist Alley for a long time, and it's really cool when you find properties like this that do get developed into other things, but 10 years earlier, 15 years earlier, you were reading their books and you know the story and you know what's going to happen. And it's just really cool to see it evolve. So before it gets made into a big blockbuster, this is a great time to pick up Righteous and to start getting into that world because it's really cool. Where can people find your work?
Well, right now I have an offer for new people to download the first issue for free off of my website. So if they go to free.righteouscomic.com, then they'll have the opportunity to opt in and they'll get sent that first issue as a PDF to their email address.
So Xane, this is your dream con, okay? Who are you most excited to meet?
I would have to say Robert Kirkman. And the reason is he kind of transformed the way that I looked at comics. Like I was a comic book fan as a kid and kind of left that world as I became an adult. And then somebody told me about Walking Dead, and I decided, okay, I haven't read a comic book in a while. Let's see what this is about. And the way that he writes and changes the world, and he's not afraid to kill off characters, and he was not afraid to make massive changes to the narrative right in the middle of it. He was not afraid to have characters go through epiphanies, like big epiphanies that just changed the direction all of a sudden. His fearlessness and the way that he wrote really inspired me to write Righteous and do some of the things that he does, like having the main character have epiphanies and have these moments where he goes, oh my gosh, I've been thinking of it this way, and it's not this way. It's a completely different way, and I'm so excited to go that completely new way. So that's who I would love to talk to, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. So with so many cons canceling and postponing right now, how can people best support you and other creators during this pandemic?
Yeah, it's an interesting problem because we've got ourselves a situation where people can't work, and we've essentially put capitalism on pause. So we normally think monetary when you ask questions like that. But I think in a situation like this, we have to look at it differently, and we have to find ways to help people and help creators by spreading the word. I think that's the best way to do it. And so I was thinking about that. Like I already offer the first issue for free that they can download off my website. But I'm thinking that in this specific case, in this specific situation, that the listeners who listen to this show could go ahead and let me know that they found me by listening to this podcast or this broadcast. And in that case, I'll send them the entire first volume for free instead of just the first issue, the first chapter. And the first volume is the first 5 chapters. And that way they can read it, and then they could be an advocate for me, right? They can go around and say, wow, this thing is really amazing. You definitely need to check it out. And so that might be a way for other creators to do the same thing. Give a little bit more away for free so that people can get excited about it and get into it. Because really, as creators, we just want people to read the stuff, right? Yeah, we'd like to make money off of it. And in my case, I pay a lot of artists to do all this. So I do need the income. But at the same time, I need people to read it just as much.
Yeah, man, that's a great idea. And I really appreciate that. I hope people take advantage of this because it is a fantastic book. And I know once they get that first volume, they're going to want the rest of them. How do people get in touch with you?
Well, okay. So they can find me on Facebook. It's, facebook.com/Xane Daniel, all one word, Xane. Or they can email me at XaneDaniel@gmail.com, or they can go on the website, righteouscomic.com.
Cool. And what about social media? Are you on Twitter, Instagram, any of those places? Any place people can check out your work?
Yeah, I don't usually use Twitter too much, but Instagram for sure. So it's Righteous Comic on Instagram. And what, my other job is that I travel around the country via camper van, and I give talks at conferences, expos, and festivals, though I'm not at the moment. And I'm setting up workshops to help heal people, essentially. So I'm an energy healer. It's a little bit like Reiki. And I'm helping people get over past childhood traumas. I'm helping them love themselves unconditionally. And in general, discover their spiritual gifts, which is kind of an amazing thing. It's a little bit like superheroes in real life, that we've all come here bringing with us some sort of spiritual, supernatural power, whether we can channel extraterrestrials, or we can heal people with our minds, or we can heal people with our voices. There's a lot of kind of amazing things that are going on in this space, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So that's what you're going to discover as you learn more about me specifically. I left the video game career completely and now do this full time.
Very cool. Xane, thank you so much for being on. Like I said, I'm a big fan of your work. I really encourage people to check it out, to share his stuff, to let other people know about it, because it's just really, really worth your time and really timely at that. So thank you again, Xane.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
You can find Alley Chats on Facebook by searching for @AlleyChats. You can also visit us at our webpage, smgpods.com/AlleyChats, for links to all our episodes and other cool stuff. One easy way to support our show is to rate and review Alley Chats wherever you listen to your podcasts. Those ratings really help us out and help others find our show as well. Alley Chats is produced and edited by Rob Southgate for Southgate Media Group. Be sure to subscribe to Alley Chats because you definitely don't want to miss an episode. Thanks again to our affiliate sponsors, Hunt-A-Killer and Tweaked Audio. Links to them are on our webpage and in the show notes. This wouldn't be possible without them. Our theme song is by Benny and the No Goods. Check out their awesome music at bennyandthenogoods.bandcamp.com. If you're an artist or writer or creative type that would have a table at an artist alley and would like to be on Alley Chats, message us through the Facebook page or email us directly at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com and we'll set up an interview. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with another fantastic show.